Okay, YouTubers, this is the Angryprepper. Today's video, we're going to talk about, is the United States sovereignty being given up or forfeited to who? World Health Organization. Now, the answer to that is no. You have to understand what sovereignty means to find the answer, actually. So I'm going to give you guys the short answer. The short answer is no, because our sovereignty's already been given up. It's been given up decades ago. And when you have the understanding of sovereignty, guys, you know what the answer to that is. But is who looking for more power for the next pandemic? Yes. So that's actually a two-part answer. Now, the understanding of sovereignty, guys, is sovereignty, the idea of sovereignty was created by the founding fathers. Once we broke away from the UK, we told them to go fuck themselves. We threw their tea in the Boston harbor there, and we were like, fuck them. We're creating our own country. Therein lies sovereignty, because sovereignty was the idea of a country being run by the people and not by the government. So when the founding fathers, if you will, came up with this idea, it was the American people were supposed to govern the government. That was the idea. That's how it started. And that's somewhat how the country was ran. Now we are in 2022. Our founding fathers are spinning in their fucking graves because the American people no longer govern the government. The government governs us, as we saw in the last 2 years. But prior to the last 2 years, we saw the government making all kinds of decisions for us, saying that it was for the betterment of the people. With that being said, guys, we watched our free speech get crushed. We watched the Second Amendment get destroyed, or rather picked apart, and it's continued to be picked apart. So we are undoubtedly, guys, we undoubtedly lost our sovereignty. It's gone. But we seem to think that it's still there. Now, is the Biden administration meeting with the World Health Organization to give up sovereignty? No. What they're looking to do is give who more power during a pandemic or medical emergency. World leaders around the world, guys, they're working on adding amendments to something called the IHR, the International Health Regulation, and that's what WHO operates behind as far as other countries go, countries giving WHO certain powers, a certain authorization to operate a certain way in their country. WHO, World Health Organization, stated, guys, during the pandemic, the one that we just went through, the fucking COVID bullshit, that if they would have received more power or more cooperation, is the word they use, that the pandemic could have been handled better or differently, So, guys, again, with them making this gripe, I find it interesting that, of course, now WHO is looking for more power for the next pandemic because they know one's coming. So in a PDF file called COVID-19, Let It Be the Last Pandemic, this is by WHO. And this PDF file is going to be in the description section below, guys. Take a look at it, read it for yourself. It's interesting how they go about saying that they need more power in this long, stretched out 84-page fucking PDF file. And there are a couple of points that they make in there as to how they want more control or more cooperation and more data sharing. Now, when it comes to the amendment that's being made for WHO, there's another PDF file, and I'm going to put the link in the description section below. So the other PDF file I'm putting in here, there's another one you should read. I think it's 14 pages long or 13 pages long. It's called Strengthening WHO's Preparedness for and Response to Health Emergencies. This PDF file, guys, is pretty interesting, again, because the United States put a couple amendments in there that strengthens the WHO's ability to do more during the pandemic. Now, guys, interestingly enough, if you connect this to the WEF, World Economic Forum, you look how China, or the Chinese rather, have big political play and big political power in the World Economic Forum. With that, guys, the Chinese put, his name is the head of WHO, his name is the Director General Tedros Adhanom, I can't pronounce his last name, and he's a doctor. This guy was put in there by the Chinese, hence the reason why he applauded or pat China on the back for their handling of the pandemic, which we all know they wrecked and fucked up. This doctor, guys, he is a Chinese plant. He is the reason, or rather China is the reason why they want more power, because he's going to operate through them, or rather China's going to operate through him, sorry. So they put in their plant, guys, and now they request more power. They request more power, they request more cooperation, and data sharing. That means, guys, that the Chinese can now take in that data, because remember, we couldn't get a straight answer or data from China when he requested it. But now he wants the rest of the world to requesting the rest of the world to put in that data in cooperation, when again, China didn't. And when they came out with that bogus finding of where COVID was. This is all, guys, this is all connected. The World Economic Forum and China and WHO and the UN, I might add. Now, guys, when you read the PDF file, the one with the 13-page one, when you read that file, guys, you're going to see a lot of lingo that's being changed from, for example, the word shall and may. Shall is now striked out. No, sorry, may is not striked out, and shall is in place of may. So they're, instead of saying, well, the WHO may operate in such, they're saying the WHO shall operate in such, meaning they're going to, not that they may, even though they do repeatedly say that each state and country has to request such help from WHO. But they are hiding their agenda in this PDF, and if you read the lingo correctly, or you read it correctly, sorry, and you see through the bullshit, you know that this is another power reach by WHO. So guys, a lot of things are in here, but as far as our sovereignty being given up, no. Is more power being directed towards WHO? Yes, that means they have to take some power away from the CDC, I guess, or just tell the CDC to answer the WHO. That's one way of looking at it. But here's the kicker, guys. Even if we were to give our sovereignty to WHO, which we're not, but even if we were, how will WHO enforce any of these rulings, any of these medical actions? How are they going to back that up? There is no way of WHO backing it up. There's no way of WHO enforcing it. They can't. Even if they were to roll with, let's say, United Nations, there's not enough troops in the United Nations to spread around the world, because you'll have other countries that'll be like, no, we're not doing this. Right? So again, there's no real way of them enforcing it. It's why our sovereignty is not being given up. It's not even on the table, because there's no way of enforcing any of this. Now again, guys, the language in the 13-page PDF file, because I refuse to repeat the name again and again, but the 13-page PDF file, guys, again, the language in there also suggests that they want to provide assistance and or lead on how we implement certain procedures here in the United States for the next pandemic. So there's no mention of lockdown, there's no mention of putting people in their homes, zero. But they are hiding that language within the PDF file. So again, when you read this PDF file, read it carefully. You will see some sneaky things they put in there to, again, cover up what they really want. Again, how do they enforce this? That's my bigger question. Again, looking online and seeing how they're going to enforce it, there is no real way they're going to enforce it unless they use military here in the United States, which I doubt a lot of military guys are going to go along with. The United Nations just is stretched thin as it is, so I don't see them them coming here to enforce anything, or any country for that matter, enforcing it. So again, guys, with the whole sovereignty being sold out, our sovereignty has been gone a long time ago. That's not on the table. What they're looking to do is give WHO more power into how they implement, or rather help, each state and each country through a pandemic. Interestingly enough, we got a possible pandemic starting, a new one. So this, guys, the timetable, again, is all coincidental. Now, here's the other thing too, guys. All the distractions, the Roe versus Wade, the food, the gas price, the gas issue, the food issue, Roe versus Wade, we have all of these distracting us from this, because people are going to look at this now and go, well, whoa, why are we giving them more power? Why are we helping them out with more data sharing when other countries didn't do it? Other than that, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching.